Welcome!
Hey,
Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, folks.
yes, sir.
Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques!
Hulk!
Jacques!
Hulk!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, y'all? What's up,
What's up,
Jacques?
man? Hey, what's up, man? Hey, we
Man,
living quarantine life, man.
exactly. For real, man. You know what I mean? Hey, hair all long. You know what I mean?
Man, dog. Man, me too. You see, hey, we living like cavemen, man. That's
I
what we do.
know. I know.
Man,
Yeah, and guys, I'm bald, but man, under this cap, it's got hair. I ain't trying to look, let y'all look at that right now. You know what I mean? But hey, it's the one time we can let it happen. I mean,
it is.
my wife
It is.
looks at me kind of weird. I understand. You know what I mean? But
Right, right, right,
we'll
right.
get back. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, hopefully one day it'll get back to normal, man. It's the new
yeah,
norm.
right. That's
It's the
right,
new
man.
norm, man. It's the
That's
new
right.
norm. So,
And for those
yeah, man.
across the world, man, that's listening in, here in Nashville, man, hey, the city's been shut down for a minute. Like it's got in the state of Tennessee, Nashville's got one of the has the highest counts of COVID-19 in the state, man. So our
Right,
city's shut down right now. So
right,
yeah,
right,
working from
right.
home, with the
Yeah,
children and
me too.
everything, and the wife, it's been an adjustment. It's been
Homeschool.
cool, man. Yeah,
Right, right,
it's been cool. I've
right.
been busy, still busy, but it's cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man. So
Same
we
here,
can.
same here. Busy, homeschooling, which that's something new. So I
Yep,
respect all the teachers out there that do
we
this
do.
on a daily basis.
Yep.
Tighten up, load. I'm talking to you.
Yes, sir. That's
So
right.
yeah, man, definitely, dude. Like
Yeah.
it's new norm, man. The new
It
norm.
is. It is. And we get a chance to do different things, man. Like with the kids,
Right.
like we don't get a chance to really do like teaching them how to drive,
Uh-huh.
teaching them how to paint, all kind of different things,
Right.
that we've been able to do and things. So
Right.
it's really been cool, man.
That
So
family time, man.
yep, it is,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So Titan fans, welcome. I know it's been a while. We've been trying to adjust to this quarantine that's going on right now. We would prefer to do the show together like we usually do. But hey, man,
Right.
we don't join in on this Zoom. We're gonna do the show, and we're gonna keep doing the
Right.
show. It's the off season as well. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. We have a lot to talk about.
Talk
God,
about it. We do. We do. We do.
man,
We do. We
the
do.
Titans are in the news more than any team in the NFL, if you ask me, man. When you talk
Yeah.
about, players being cut and who to sign, those things. So we got a whole pot of gumbo we about to eat today, man, and we're gonna give it
Yes,
to y'all,
sir.
man. Straight up,
Yep.
bro. Straight
Straight
up,
up.
man.
Straight up. Like you said, man. It's been a weird free agency period because your mind is on free agency, but your mind is somewhere else too. But to get it off of what's going on in the world now,
Yep.
Titans are buzzing. Titans are buzzing. Titans are
Man.
making unloading people off the bus and bringing people on the bus. And
That's
it's one
right.
of those things is we about to see a whole new team, a whole new team from what we've seen in the past 4 or 5 years, from versus what we about to see going forward. And it's gonna be unique to see. I feel like this is the Mike Vrabel regime right here. So Mike Vrabel was bringing in his group of guys versus John Robinson and the old regime when they had their group of guys. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you still get to draft certain people, but at the same time, you're bringing in people where Mike Vrabel knows, like Davion Clowney. We'll touch on that later on in the show. But certain things now we're turning into the Tennessee Falcons. So it's crazy, man. It's
It
it's
is.
it's
It is,
crazy.
man.
So
It is. A lot
man,
going on in the month of March, man.
it is.
The coronavirus, the tornadoes that hit, man, and now the Tigers are in a buzz. Like it's just a lot going on. So today's April, so we're in a new month. So now it's
Right,
time for us to, start signing players and start drafting players. So
right,
so
right.
so Jacques,
Yes, sir.
question for you, sir.
All right.
All right, so all off season we've been talking about should we sign Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, who, right? So
Right.
we ended up signing Ryan Tannehill. Okay,
Okay.
so Ryan Tannehill, congrats to you, young man. You just signed a $118 million contract. Hey, I can't hate people for getting, making moves, right? Hey, get your
Hey,
paper, get your money while you can, right?
right, right.
17 and a half next year. The year after he'll get paid 24.5, and then after that 29 million. So Ryan Tannehill's doing this right now in the city, and now him and his wife Lauren,
Money dance, man.
they are doing the money dance. They're part of the money team right now. But
Right.
so Jacques, a question for you, man. So we ended up signing Ryan Tannehill. Do you think it was a good signing or a bad signing?
Um, it's a front heavy deal, but in my opinion, just in my opinion, the quarterback's important. But I think he's eating up most of your money, in my opinion. To me, it's not a good sign.
Okay.
I would sign at least to a 2-year deal, maybe 90 million. I know he wasn't gonna ask for that, even 90 million. And I know he got us to the AFC Championship. Don't get me wrong on that. But we still had that boy Derrick Henry. You see what I'm saying? Derrick Henry's been here longer stint, right?
Yep.
The problem I have with Tannehill is this a one-trick pony? Is this a one-time thing where, hey, I was just balling out for this year to get a contract? Or is this going to be prolonged? That's what scares me about the contract. Not his play. I mean, he got us to the AFC Championship without any issues. My problem is he going to revert back to the Miami days when he got paid and he got hurt? That's what scares me about this whole thing of signing Ryan Tannehill to a 5-year deal. Now, we know how John Robinson operates. He'll put you in that deal, but he's gonna find a way to get out that deal. We're gonna pay you much. We're gonna pay all your money up front, or either in the back end, or even in the back end, we're gonna get you up out of here. So to me, it wasn't a good signing. I at least would have did like a 2-year deal, maybe. I still wouldn't have paid him that much. I probably would have split it up, but 118 million, man, that's woo. And the figures, what you say, 29? Did you say
29 in 2022, man? The third year, 29 million, man. Yeah.
That's eating into your cap.
It is.
That's eating into your cap. Now you're putting in a situation where later on down the line, what happens to Taylor Lewan? What happens to Byard?
Yeah.
What happens when you got to sign a Dory Jackson and if you bring back Corey on his 5th-year option? So that's my opinion. What about you?
Well, Jacques, man, for the longest, especially when I first saw the contract, I was like, whoa, right? Whoa. I was like, you got to be kidding me. All I saw was 118 million. I said, man, you got to be kidding me, right? But, man, I'm going to actually say this is a good signing. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. Not so much the back end, the 2022, 2023. It's more about the 2020 and 2021 season, right? 17 and a half and 24.5. That's about what the quarterbacks are making anyway. So we're paying them just like if you went to Walmart, you pay this one bagger with one, you'll pay the other bagger the exact same. So it's still the same, really. You know what I mean? Really based on the market. The market, has it where quarterbacks can make over $20 million a year. But now next year, he's only making I'm only like saying only like that ain't nothing, but he's making 17.5 million. So I would say it's a good contract because he essentially can play 2 years. And if he doesn't step up, the Titans could let him go. Okay, it's really like a 2-year deal. You still have the back end. When if he balls out after 2 years, he's owed $29 million. Give the money to him, right? But what I will agree with you on is I hope it's not eating up so much money. Now, I wouldn't say probably this year, but maybe some long-term contracts with other players, like you say, Kevin Byard, even trying to sign Derrick Henry. But I think that 17 and a half for next year will have us enough cap to do 1-year deals for a lot of players, which we're doing right now. And I think that I really think Ryan Tannehill, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't really think it's a bad deal, man. I really think it's you got to look at who's out there? Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, I don't know, so I'm okay with it, man. I'm all right with it.
Okay. That's cool. So I got a question for you, Hawk.
Yes, sir.
It's about that young Sahab Derrick Henry.
That boy 22.
First of all, does Derrick Henry deserve a long-term contract? That's part one.
Yes.
Part two is, do you think he deserved a contract before Ryan Tannehill got his contract? What do you think?
Well, I will say this, man. He does deserve a long-term contract, okay? Right. I know he's a running back, and a lot of running backs aren't panning out for the long haul. Todd Gurley just got released. True. Melvin Gordon got traded for a bag of chips. So running backs, even in that draft class, none of the running backs are with the team that they were with originally at the 2015 draft class. So I would say, if anything, Derrick Henry is different because, the offense is predicated on what he does. And he's not a banged-up running back. He hasn't played really 4 years. He's played about 2.5 years out of this, right? And so I think he does deserve a long-term deal. I'd say probably like a 3-year deal, really strong up front, maybe the first 2 years. I think the biggest part is that guaranteed dollar. I understand the Titans franchising him because it's kind of holding him at bay. So they can spend time with him, try to negotiate a deal with him. So I actually agree. I thought initially that's who we should have signed first. But, man, I actually agree with signing the quarterback first. As crazy as that sounds. And Derrick Henry, I'm the biggest Derrick Henry fan probably ever for the Titans. But I would say, man, like, I'm actually okay with them signing Ryan Tannehill first because now what it does for Derrick Henry is, okay, you are running back. I hate to say that, right? But, instead of, he's going to make big money anyway. He just made $2 million last year. He's going to automatically make $12 million as a franchise player right now next year, right?
Right.
So he's going to make much more money than he did. He'll probably make more in 1 year than he's did his whole career. So now it's about that guaranteed dollar for the running back. And Ezekiel Elliott got super paid. Even David, what's the running back for Johnson got paid. He got traded, right? So I think, man, I'm giving Derrick Henry probably a 3-year deal. I give him a good size upfront guaranteed contract, maybe $40 million, something like that.
Right.
Pay him about $13 million a year, man. What about for you?
So with John Robinson, if people pay attention to his patterns, if you ball out your first maybe 2 or 3 years as a rookie, or even 3 or 4 years, you're going to get paid before your rookie contract runs out, right?
Yep.
The problem with Derrick Henry was when he first, and I know he wasn't being utilized correctly, but when he was being utilized, he was missing the hole. He didn't have good vision, right?
Yes.
It was just but 2 years ago when he kind of turned on the gear. When he turned on the gear, it was kind of, okay, you turned it on, but you kind of turned it on too late. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So what happens is John Robinson probably looked at that and was like, you know what? I don't know. And like you said, with the running back market now and how it is, like you said, getting traded, is the value really there for a running back? You can go in the draft and get you a running back, and it's probably either better than Derrick Henry. And I'm not saying anybody's better than Derrick Henry, but something that Derrick Henry does lack is pass catching out the backfield. That's one problem that he does have. You probably can get you a pass catching back because that's what the league is coming to anyway. You know what I mean? Something unique Derrick Henry does have is he's a bruiser. He's a bruiser and he's fast. You see what I'm saying? Especially in the league where you've mentioned this, linebackers are very small. Yep. So with that, he deserves a long-term contract, but I'm with you about a 3-year deal, a little front-heavy deal, because when he hits those 4 and 5th years in his contract, his tread is gone. He's beat up. His replacement is already there. And like I said, John Robinson is going to replace you by either drafting or picking somebody up in free agency. So, and with the quarterback situation, my thing is the quarterback trumps the running back. Without the quarterback, you can't do nothing. Now, with Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill, they're like a pair. They're like almost like Steve and Eddie. They're like a pair. You know what I'm saying? B's in a pod, A and B. So what happens with that is you have to pay the quarterback first before you can pay the running back. You can always get you a sizable or a running back that can at least get you 800 yards a season if you can find one that's just reasonable and that you can at least run the ball and win some games. We have a good, decent offensive line that can do that. You see what I'm saying? So with that, I say it's fair and give the man his contract. He deserves it. You know what I'm saying? But don't put too much stock into it because, like I said, he's 5th year in the league, going on 6th. And Tread's gonna kind of start chopping off. He's gonna start seeing more injuries out of him too because this is actually last year was the first year he really got injured. Prior to that, when did Derrick Henry have an injury?
Not even in Alabama, man. He rarely got hurt ever.
So you have to take that in consideration too. So
I got you, brother. I got you, man. So, so question for you, man. So, man, the Titans might have lost more players than anyone in the NFL, man, when it comes to free agency or players getting released. As we all know, the Tennessee Titans was one of the biggest teams when it came to depth. That's why we made it to the AFC Championship, right? People forget we made the AFC Championship. We was a few points away from going to the Super Bowl. We played the Chiefs better than the 49ers did in the Super Bowl, right? So, and another good thing about the Titans is that we didn't have a lot of injuries. And so, we have a lot of players that we were able to, to trade at a good value. Some of the trades we made I don't quite agree with, but that's what we're going to get into right now. So, what I'm going to do, man, I'm going to go through a list of players that we have released. And, just tell us in your opinion, and I'll add mine to it too, if you feel that the release in the future was it an important release or not important release? You know what I mean? Like, let's see what we do, man. All right. So we'll start with one of our favorite players, Jurrell Casey. Was that an important release or not?
That was it was a heartbreaking release. Let me say that. It was heartbreaking, okay? It was an important release because, you lost leadership in the locker room. You lost the leadership. You lost somebody, a veteran that can come in and show the young guys how to be professionals, veterans. And you also lose that threat on the line because now he's a 5-time Pro Bowler. And now teams have to scheme for that, right? Now, something with what was going on with Jurrell now is I'm starting to see him decline in his career. A lot of people didn't notice that, right? His production, his sack numbers started going down. Okay, when he needed to step up, he kind of fell back in the background. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that because he's getting up in age. I understand. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was an important release because of the simple fact you lost the leader in the locker room.
Right.
And you only got a 7th-round pick for him.
Right. Right. That's my biggest issue is what we got for him. A 7th-round pick? You could have traded me for a 7th-round pick. That's my issue. And another thing with Jurrell Casey, too, I would have liked to have kept Jurrell Casey. There's some games this year, man. Jurrell Casey was balling, man, especially in run stopping. I would have liked to at least try to make some type of contract deal with him, but I just think he was just a part of the problem where they just got rid of him to bring younger players in. I think he was just a casualty at this time. So
casualty.
I hate it because he's a legend, but
yes,
here in Tennessee Titan land. But so
he's going to a good defense too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Marcus Mariota.
Unimportant, and I hate to be like this.
Yeah,
the kid is a cool kid, and the reason why I say it's unimportant, he wasn't being utilized right in Tennessee.
Right.
He got wasted in Tennessee, and I feel like if he goes somewhere where they can utilize his skill set, he won't be the grand player that everybody tries to put him to be, but he'll feel comfortable enough.
Right.
And to me, Mariota and the Tennessee Titans wasn't a fit from the beginning, in my opinion. Yeah. Because of the style of offense, and then the coaching changes every year, carousel, this. So no, let him go. Let him do what he got to do. Let him figure it out. Maybe he have a resurgence like Tannehill did. You don't know.
Yeah, I'm okay with it as well too. I mean, Marcus Mariota won us a lot of football games. Much respect to him. But when you look at the future, man, if fans would go back and watch the games, his last probably 10 games, Mariota played very poor. Now, I know he got hurt against Jacksonville, and I think that's what derailed him from that point, from a confidence standpoint. But it is what it is, right? So I think it's an unimportant move. I think it's just good luck to Mariota, man. Ain't no hating or nothing like that. Just not a good fit, man. Ryan Succup.
Unimportant.
I'm
just and the reason why I say that was, I mean, you can see the decline. When I was at the Kansas City game, there was a Kansas City fan next to me. She said this is the reason why we got rid of him in the first place is what he's doing now. I said, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I said he got hurt. It's starting to show that he's still hurt. So no, get him out of here.
Yeah, man.
Bring somebody in younger to compete with the kicker we have now, and let's see what we got.
That's right. Suckup had big games for us, man, for many years. Last year and a half. I mean, I think he can say it himself. He did not play well. He was missing extra points and everything. Got to go. Jack Conklin.
This is gonna sound crazy, and I know everybody's on the Jack Conklin train, but I'm gonna say unimportant.
I agree, sir.
And I'm gonna tell you why. It's because you have that boy Kelly. When Conklin was in there, Conklin, after he had his knee injury, was not the same player.
Right.
He didn't have the same confidence. He looked skittish out there. He looked like he was lost. He finally started kind of coming on at the end. But when Kelly was the plug and play, Kelly's very versatile first, okay? Right. He can play right tackle, left guard, right guard. He's a very versatile player. So something that he brings to the table versus Jack Conklin is that versatility. And what happens is, hey, we didn't really have to break the bank for Kelly, right?
Nope.
We didn't have to break the bank at all. Hey, Conklin, go into the Cleveland Browns and do what you got to do.
Get your paper, right.
Get your paper, but at the same time, we're not finna break the bank for you because, in my opinion, when the offensive line started to jail, it was still a little shaky there. So that's my opinion. What about you?
Well, I actually agree with you, man. I think Conklin, first of all, is a very good right tackle. I mean, he made an All-Pro as a rookie. He was very successful, had a lot of accolades. He got hurt. That kind of derailed him a little bit. They franchised him last year, which I felt was a smart move. I think at the end of the day, it was just about money at the table. I think the Titans would have wanted to keep Jack Conklin, but they knew,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. They knew they had Kelly in the background, kind of like, hey, if you don't want to be here, that's cool. We'll pay Kelly, X amount of dollars, which is probably more than half of less than what he would have made, right? Conklin is probably a better pass blocker than Kelly.
Yes.
Kelly's a better run blocker, right?
I agree. I agree.
But I would say Conklin, you already have a left tackle in Taylor Lewan. Again, Conklin did a great job here. And one thing I like about Jack Conklin, he's very young. He's 25 years old. He's a young guy.
25 years old, exactly.
Yeah. But I just don't think at the end of the day it was just about papers. Like you want
Right.
this amount, we can't do that. You know what I mean? So
Right.
good luck. We
And,
got Dennis Kelly. We'll hold on, man. So
and injuries suck, man. That's just the
yep,
thing about injuries. Injuries, man, can mess your confidence up. It can
that's right.
derail you. It can mess you up. So
That's
yeah.
right. Tajae Sharpe.
Whew. I'm gonna say this. And this is gonna sound crazy. I'm gonna say unimportant. And I'm gonna
Okay.
tell you why. Tajae Sharpe comes up in big games, right?
Yep.
But the problem I have with Tajae is consistency. Okay, Tajae gets you a 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, and then he disappears for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And when you have your X receiver and your wide receiver are locked up, we need that 3rd receiver to step up. Now, something I liked about Tajae was he can catch and he's very reliable. Right?
Absolutely.
But the problem is the drafts, okay? And people, we got a whole nother show coming with that. The draft is loaded with a bunch of talent.
Yep.
And I guarantee you, if this draft didn't have this much talented receivers in this draft, Tajae would still be here today.
Absolutely.
But just because this draft is loaded with receivers, and I feel like the Titans want to get faster and with speed, and they want to kind of build themselves up how the Kansas City Chiefs are, you can't do it with Tajae.
That's right.
But the one thing I am proud about Tajae is he got paid and he went to Minnesota. He's going to be a number 2 receiver, bro.
I agree with Jacques. I agree with everything you just said, man. Like, I was a big Tajae Sharpe fan. You know, for a while, for about 2 years, Tajae Sharpe was our number 1 receiver at times. And it was crazy, even his rookie year, because Tajae Sharpe can catch the football. That's no question about it, right? It has the best hands on the team, if you ask me, and just throwing the ball. But I agree. I think it's based on the receivers that's being drafted, young guys, things like that. And then when you look across the Titans receivers, no one probably runs faster than a 4.5, 4.6, right? Tajae's probably about a 4.7, maybe even a 4.8, right? Not a lot of speed at all with our receivers. Corey Davis, A.J. Brown, Adam Humphries, they're not fast. So it's like we got the same type of receiver across the board. One of y'all got to go. Tajae is you. And it probably came down to money. The Titans probably offered him here's some paper. Minnesota's like, look, we lost Stephon Diggs. Come holler at us. And that's what he did. Good luck to Tajae Sharpe, a 6th-round pick that's been still in the league, 7 years in the league. And he's going. And he got hurt 2 years ago, serious injury. Came back and did a good job. When he came to 3rd down, Tajae made the plays, man. You know,
he made the plays, right?
He did.
Right.
Delanie Walker.
Whew. I'm gonna say important because you lost a leader, but also he would never be the same because of his injury.
Right.
He will probably never get to play anywhere else and put up the same production as he did when he was with in the latter years. And I'm gonna say this, people: if we would have had Delanie Walker this year healthy, we would have won the Super Bowl.
No question about it. We would have won the Super Bowl. Write that down.
We would have won the Super Bowl. Okay. And why I say it's important, you're losing a leader in the locker room, right? That presence to teach the young people. But you still got the young Sahab, Jonnu Smith coming up.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword. It's almost, I understand the cap hit. I understand you got to free up the money, but I will miss that presence. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it's and I'm not even going to call this an unimportant. I'm going to call it I miss it. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to miss him. He's the best tight end we had in Tennessee.
Ever.
And it's just to have that and how his career went and how he went down and how his career just went down like this.
Right.
I hate it for him, man. What about you?
Man, I'm gonna miss 82. 82 did a lot for the community, man. Even with my children, he came through one of their camps 2 or 3 years ago. Gave free book bags. To be honest, I actually am using that backpack because they got another backpack. But I would tell you this, man. From a business standpoint, I'm gonna say unimportant, and the reason I say that is because yes, he's been in the league for damn near 15 years, right? He's been in the league at least 13 years. I don't know the exact number, but it's in that ballpark. And you know, you have to look at, okay, you know, first of all, I'm gonna say that Delanie Walker is the best receiver that we've ever had here as an organization for the Titans. Now we've had Derrick Mason and things like that. When you want to talk about years in and years out, for the years he was here in Tennessee, if he had those same years in productivity with the 49ers, we might be talking about Delanie Walker in the Hall of Fame. He had those type of numbers for a tight end. But I will say that, you know, we just couldn't sign him. I mean, he might retire, right? So
Right.
it sucks. That's the nature of the business. And we give a lot of props to Delanie Walker for what he's done. Again, it's just an injury. That's just how it is in the NFL. It sucks, but
Right.
that's how it is, man. So
Right.
Dion Lewis.
Yeah, unimportant.
Okay.
And, and I'm gonna say why unimportant. We first of all we paid him too much money to come in here and he has his lack of production. He was supposed to be our receiving back out the backfield. He was supposed to be the relief for Derrick Henry, right?
Yep.
But it never panned out. And we kind of knew that. He was one of those New England guys that came over. He was a good systems guy. But when he left New England, he was just average, dog. And I hated for him, you know what I mean? Because when he got here, he cried and we gave him a shot and a chance. But you just got to know what you are, man. And we brought you in here to be a receiving back, and you couldn't do that. So, no, it's unimportant.
I totally agree too. I think we could bring a younger back or any running back that could, spell Derrick Henry, which you and me have talked about a lot. We shouldn't just depend solely on Derrick Henry. We need a solid backup. Even
Right.
Keyshawn Vaughn from Vanderbilt has said he would love to come to stay in the city. He's from Nashville, love to stay in the city and be that backup for Derrick Henry. And Dion
Right.
Lewis just didn't have enough juice to do it. He just didn't. Is he good enough to be in the NFL? Yes. I mean, he got signed to the Giants. But just for what we do here. He had some decent games, especially early in his time here with us. But the last probably year and a half, when he was asked to do some things, he fumbled a bit. He tried to run as hard as he could, but he's small and doesn't have a lot of speed. That's kind of bad. That's kind of two negatives, right? So he professional guy like Dion Lewis or whatever, but it was a good business move, man. So
Right.
LaShawn Sims.
I'm gonna say unimportant. I'm gonna tell you why. The
Okay.
only reason I'm saying unimportant is because of the draft, right?
Yep.
Draft has this draft is loaded with defensive backs, cornerbacks, and receivers. Okay, and with LaShawn, I feel like he's in a crowded room. When you have Logan, you had Logan, you had Butler, you have Jackson, you have Hooker who can play the slot. So it's one of those things. Is he was brought in here for depth, and he exceeded that depth, right?
Yep.
And he played decent when he needed to play decent. But when I bring you in, I need somebody to cover the number one receiver, right?
Yep.
I need somebody to, hey, when I call you, hey, we need you in. When we played the Buccaneers, man, it was rough for him. He had a rough time, dog.
He did.
And I'm glad he got signed by Cincinnati because that's another guy that he's going to start. They just signed you, you're going to start, dog. So, and they just got rid of Drake Kirkpatrick, so they see something in him. Yep. So, to me, and it frees up money, and you can bring a younger guy in from the draft that is more talented and Mike can elevate over him. So, we need speed, man. So it's a lot of fast guys in this draft where you can bring in and they're very quick and fast. So what about you?
Agree. Totally agree. Unimportant. I like LaShawn Sims. Again, he was a late round, like a 5th or 6th round pick himself. So he's played himself up to a contract. So, hey, much respect to LaShawn Sims, right? A team signed him, right? He got signed. And so, but looking at what we need, yes, we're going to draft some corners, young guys. Again, it's about money. I think LaShawn Sims came to the table. Cincinnati's offering me this. Can y'all offer me that? Nope, can't do it. Holla at you. See you later, right? In games, there were games LaShawn Sims played very well, but I think the more responsibility they put on LaShawn Sims, he didn't step up to the plate, right? When he was kind of hiding the smokes, like, coming in the third quarter, he'd come in and play pretty well. But I just think that, it's not a huge loss for us. He can be replaced, man. And good luck to him in Cincinnati, man. Like, no hate, do your thing in Cincinnati for real. So I'm gonna lump these players up overall, man. Darius Jennings, Austin Johnson, Cam Wake, Ty Smith, Daren Bates. What do you think about that group? What do you think, man? Important or unimportant?
Everybody's unimportant except Daren Bates because Daren Bates brought you that special team type of guy, and he brings you that energy in the locker room. Yep. So I'm gonna miss that, but everybody else unimportant, man. Though there's something about this list we'll get to in a minute, but to me, unimportant. What about you?
Man, I totally agree. And I would have said, without knowing what you just said, I would have said the same. I'll say they're all unimportant, but if there was one I could pull from that, would be Daren Bates. Because Daren Bates has been a great special teams player. Yep. I think I don't know if he's been signed yet. Maybe they can work out some type of deal. But so we've signed some other guys that could be his replacement. But Daren Bates, who's from Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee. He's he did a very good job overall with special teams, and he's been in the league for a long time. He's been at least 9 years, right?
Yep.
He played with the Rams in St. Louis, so he's been around, right? So
Right.
so yeah, man. So yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So, Hawk, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
That list that you composed,
Yes.
what would you say of why those players were unimportant and important? What would be your reasoning?
Well, I think, man, one, if I put it all together, if I put it on a scale, the biggest part of it is that we're losing depth, right? That's the biggest problem that I have with letting so many people go, and some people being let go for a bag of M&Ms, right? Seventh round pick for Jurrell Casey, that's unreal, right? Like, if you're gonna make a business decision, fine, get a third round or fourth rounder for him. I quite don't understand that part of it. I think that hurts us in the back end to get an extra seventh round pick. Woo, right? Whoop-de-doo.
Right.
But I think overall, I think the releases are important, and I'm saying that to say they're doing this to create cap space for Derrick Henry, for Logan Ryan, maybe Jadeveon Clowney, right? Maybe Hunter or what's the not Hunter, the guy from Minnesota, the defensive end.
Everson Griffin.
Everson Griffin, right? I'm thinking of Daniel Hunter, the other guy, right? Griffin. So I think that's the reason why. It's like we need to cut off some of these dead edges, and maybe cut off of Mariota, definitely cut off of Jurrell Casey with his big money contract, because Casey was going to make $11 million next year. So I think, I really think the Titans are opening up. They're giving up depth for star players or guaranteed dollars. So I'm okay with it. I am. Conklin, Delanie Walker, some big names, but that's the NFL. That happens. It's sort of new to us in Tennessee, where this doesn't happen a lot, where we lose so many players at one time. And we did make the AFC Championship, but what can we do to get to Patrick Mahomes, right? What can we do to beat the Chiefs? And the AFC South, we should own the South. So what should we do, right? What about for you, man?
So with me, I understand how John Robinson thinks, okay? And how he thinks in a way, he's thinking in the long term, right?
Yep.
Not the short term, okay? And what I mean by the long term, he either drafts your replacement, or he drafts your clone, or he replaces your clone in free agency. And what he does is he loves building through the draft, right? So if you look at majority of those people that he cut, either some of them were from the draft, some of them from that old regime. Because think about it, Casey and Delanie Walker were from the old regime. They weren't from John Robinson time. They just happened to stay because they were good in Pro Bowls, right?
Right.
The Tajae Sharpes, the Austin Johnsons, those are John Robinson guys. But John Robinson knew, hey, when I pick you this low and you really not getting PT time like that, once it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. I hate to be like that. And like you said, what we're building to get to Kansas City. That's the ultimate goal, is to get through the Ravens and Kansas City, right?
Yep, that's right. Facts.
But the biggest goal is to beat the people in your division. And the division is so weak right now, we should own the division. I think our toughest competition will be
facts, no paper.
So that's my thing, is with the people that we got rid of, yeah, I'm hurt by it, but not really. Like you said, we're losing depth. That's the biggest thing. Yep. But I feel like people don't panic, because John Robinson always has something up his sleeve. And what I'm learning about Mike Vrabel now is Mike Vrabel and him work together so well. They're very sneaky, right? The Clowney, okay? We'll get to that in a minute. But the Clowney thing is none other than Vrabel. That's Vrabel all day.
That's his boy.
That's not John Robinson. Yep. You see what I'm saying? That's not John Robinson saying, I want to go with Clowney. No, Vrabel's put that in John ear, like, hey, I coached him in Houston. He's pretty good. Remember, they got that familiarity. They're familiar with each other, right? Clowney knows Vrabel. Vrabel knows him. Clowney. You see what I'm saying? So they call him CD.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So with the people that we got rid of, think about it as they were your filler guys. They were just real good filler guys. And now, hey, let's bring in some people that can replace those filler guys, but they're 10 times better than those filler guys. People remember, defensive line. Imagine if we do happen to sign Clowney. We have Clowney, Vic Beasley, Jeffrey Simmons, Isaiah Mack, who is almost a Jurrell Casey clone.
Right.
And people will see that. You see what I'm saying? You still got Harold Landry, right? And you know, tell them what they're going to do in the draft. Yep. If you happen to swing and bring back Logan Ryan, you don't know what you're going to get in that, because they had a conference call today. John Robinson is always saying, hey, we talking to this agent, we talking to that agent. They're in talks with Logan. They trying to figure out, hey,
they are.
What's going on? They in talks with Clowney's people. You know what I'm saying? So Those are my two things.
Okay.
I'm worried, but I'm not worried. I'm not worried because I trust John Robinson. He
Yeah.
got something up his sleeve. So
Absolutely, man.
yeah.
Well,
So
you hear Clowney's wanting to get, right now is it 16 to 18 million? Is that right?
17 to 18 mil.
17. So for me, I don't know if I'd sign him. He only had 3.5 sacks last year. I don't know if I'd go 17, 18, maybe 14, maybe 15. Not no 17, 18, man.
I'm gonna tell you why I would sign him because he
Okay.
presents that threat. Okay.
Yep.
The threat of Jadeveon Clowney's on the right side. Remember, you still got Harold Landry who had 9 sacks. You have Vic Beasley who had 8 sacks last year.
Right.
People talk about how lazy Vic Beasley is. If you notice, Mike Vrabel's able to bring that man out of you, right? He's able to bring the talent out of you. Look what he did to Tannehill. Look what he did to the players that he got. They got him to the AFC Championship.
Right.
Remember that. You see what I'm saying? So what happens now is, would I sign him to 17 mil? No. If I could talk him down to 16, maybe 15. If I do sign him to 17 mil, it'll be a 3-year deal where that deal is split up.
Right, correct, right. Or if I go 18, it'd be a 1-year deal. I'd be like, look, 1 year we'll pay you 18 million, right? Or 19 million for one season.
Right.
You ball out,
right.
then we look at a long-term contract. But he's gotta prove it. Like Clowney looks scary, right? He looks like Candyman if you say Candyman 3 times in the mirror, right? He looks like a beast. We remember the highlights that he had in college. We remember him knocking the Michigan running back from Michigan to Idaho. We remember that, right? But Clowney has been more style than substance at this point in time in his career. I like Jadeveon Clowney, SEC product. We're big on the SEC guys. We are in SEC country. But what I will say is that for him to ask for so much money, he's asking like to be paid like Von Miller or somebody. It's like, bro, slow down. At the end of the day, you only had 3 sacks at the end of the day, right? You have some quarterback pressures and all those things. That's fine, right? So you got to put your money where your mouth is. And you have to say, okay, yeah, you come in here, you've had 10 or 11 sacks, and we're really talking big paper. And that's why he hasn't been signed yet. Everyone is saying the exact like, okay, so you coming up in this negotiation room? 19 million? Okay. Let's look at your paper. Let's look at your resume real quick. Okay, I'm looking at your resume. No. Oh, 3 sacks. Oh, no. Okay. 5 tackles for losses. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at things like that, it's kind of like, So I like Clowney. He's 27 years old, young guy. He can be a beast in the right system. I think he underperformed in Houston, in my opinion. He ended up getting a decent little contract with the Seattle Seahawks. I think he did pretty well with Seattle. He played better with Seattle than Houston. But at the same time, I'm looking at your sacks, bro. And if I'm paying you 18 million, that's $6 million per sack.
I want 15 sacks.
Right, exactly. I'm not paying you 6 or 7 million per sack. That ain't happening, right? So yeah. So Logan Ryan, you said, I got to give you credit. You said Logan Ryan had more than that last year, right?
He did
as a corner, right?
Yeah.
So man, so speaking of addition, he could be a possible addition, and I'd welcome him. Don't get me wrong, I'd rock his jersey if he come through here. But we've added Vic Beasley, the young 24-year-old DN out of the Atlanta Falcons, Jack Crawford out of Atlanta as well, Nick Dzunbnar from a linebacker from the Chargers, Tajae Sambraillo, the tackle from Atlanta. We resigned Kamaii Correa, MyCole Pruitt, the tight end, and Dennis Kelly. We got those guys. So tell me your opinion on the additions that we've made.
Depth guys. So you got depth guys and you got Vic Beasley. Okay, remember I just said he'll either draft your clone or he'll bring your clone from free agency.
Right.
Dzunbnar, he's Daren Bates' replacement.
Right.
The tackle from Atlanta, that's Kelly's replacement. Right. If you look at Vic Beasley is just an added addition because I feel like they see something in Vic, and he's young, he's 25. So they see something in Vic Beasley, like, you know what, we can bring his production out, give us a minute, we see what his flaws are. Hey, let's get it going. MyCole Pruitt, it makes sense because he bought out last year. And then who else did we bring?
We brought in Jack Crawford.
Okay, Jack Crawford is just another depth guy. He's replacing Austin Johnson.
Right, exactly. Yep.
So to me, that's just depth. That's all.
It's just depth. I totally agree. It's just depth. It's just depth. And you hope you can throw a penny in the river with Vic Beasley. Hopefully that'll come back or whatever. Right. But yes, it's just depth. I totally agree with that. I totally agree. It's depth. It's depth. We've lost depth. Let's bring back more depth, right, from what we just lost at maybe at a cheaper price. Where they might not ask for big money up front. And then now let's stockpile some more talent on top of these guys, or re-sign Derrick Henry and Logan Ryan, right?
Remember, the draft is where John specializes in. Majority of our players that are on the team now are from the draft.
Exactly.
And that's producing is from the draft,
Yep.
not from free agency, from the
From
draft.
the
You
draft.
add
That's
those
right.
key pieces from free agency to kind of shoehorn them in. But when I look at free agency with the Titans now, I just look at it as something under the table. I'm like, we're not finna make a big splash. And if we do, John's gonna aim for the sky. He's not gonna aim for the bottom. He's gonna aim
Right.
for the sky, right?
Right. Right.
And if he does, he's like, okay, hey, you gotta have these characters. You gotta be characteristics. You gotta have this, and this. And if you don't, I'm not bringing you in.
Right. Right.
So
Correct. Yep.
yeah, man. So let me ask you this,
Yes.
Hawk.
Yep.
Would you keep Logan Ryan? Well, would you re-sign Logan Ryan, and what would the price be to re-sign Logan Ryan? Because right now he's asking for $10 million, and he's not really getting no buzz.
Right. Right. So I really think that's an easy question, Jacques. I
Okay.
absolutely would keep Logan Ryan because
Okay.
Logan Ryan brought a lot to our defense, man, when it comes to tackling, making sacks, playing the slot. Even with the New England Patriots as a corner, he led the team in tackles for 2 years. Even us here with the Titans, he was in the top 3 in tackles as a corner. He almost plays like a skinny outside linebacker, right? The
Yep.
way that he plays. Now,
Mhm.
I would keep him because one, he loves it here. He fits our system perfectly. The
Right.
strength of our defense last year was our defensive backs, and him and
Yep.
Kevin Byard to me were the main cogs of that. Adoree Jackson, of course, was balling. Malcolm Butler when he was playing, but I think the core leaders of the defense in the defensive backfield is Kevin Byard and Logan Ryan. Those
I agree.
guys play well. So Logan Ryan, he got hurt last year, but he only missed one game. He's been very, very durable, and he
Right.
makes plays. I mean, so the problem with him in making $10 million as to why people won't sign him is, and you and I have talked about this, and I know you're going to bring a lot on this too. If I'm going to pay you $10, $11 million, I expect you to play the top receiver on the other team. I don't expect you to play the slot. Certain receivers, ate him up. I know you and I have talked about this even in the AFC Championship game. So, Logan Ryan is an unbelievable slot corner, like maybe the best in the league. So,
Right.
we might not could get to $10 million, but I'd pay him $9 million. I would pay him that. I would, and I'd pay him maybe a 2-year deal. I think he's earned it. He's 30 years old, so he's kind of getting north of the tooth of the old tooth, as they say. But I would
Right.
say that based on his productivity since he's been here, he's been unbelievably productive. When he's been on the field, we're at the plus side over the negative side. Logan Ryan
Right.
makes plays, man. He really does. But I understand at the moment why he's not getting $10 million right now. I
Right.
understand that. And even in the top 10 free agents, even on ESPN, Logan Ryan's not even listed. I'm like, what? So
Disrespect.
I would sign him, yes, but at about 9 million, maybe 8.5 million. He'd get paid. And it might give him a little guaranteed money, maybe 15 million guaranteed up front, but about
Right.
eight to $9 million. What about for you, man?
So, and you said it perfect. Like you said, we've talked about it plenty of times. To me, if I'm gonna pay you that money, you need to be guarding the number one receiver, right?
Yep.
And when we needed him to guard the number one receiver, he struggled. Yeah, I mean, especially with man-to-man coverage. Logan is a good zone corner. But when it comes to man-to-man, and what's happening to the league now is they're playing more man-to-man versus zone, right?
Right.
So the thing is, yes, bring him back because his productivity with tackling, and he had one of the most interceptions on the team. Bring him back, but I'll probably bring him back. My price be a little cheap, about $8 mil to $7 mil. And probably about 2 year, 2 or 3 year. And then what I would do also is I would draft a cornerback. Because remember, Butler's coming up next year. And Butler's scheduled to make, I think, 10 mil, right? 10 or 11 mil, one of them. And you know what John Robinson does to you. The axe has to go. See what I'm saying? So I will bring him back because one good thing is he's not getting buzz. So with him not getting buzz, we're in the driver's seat. You see what I'm saying?
That's
so
right.
we control, hey, not 10 mil, we can bring you back at 7 or 8. What we got? You want to play, right? Okay, cool. I'll sign about a 1 year, 2 year deal. I'm good. Right?
Yep.
So with Logan, if I'm gonna sign you to that, brother, I need you to be, on the outside. I need you to be, somebody needs to switch it out. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I feel like you can kind of get younger in that position as well. Bring them back for depth, yes, because right now we only have 4 cornerbacks.
Yep.
We low.
Yep.
Back for depth. Bring them back and draft one of these young guys to shoot. Go ahead and fit right in because you never know injuries.
Yes, sir.
So yeah.
Yeah, man. So Jacques, today is April 1st, okay, and we like to do like landmark dates because things change in time. My answer might change tomorrow, but as of April 1st, if the draft was today, right now at this moment, what would be the two positions you would draft in the free agency, right? Or not in free agency. What are the two players that you would draft in the draft? I'm sorry.
So if I'm looking at free agency now, where we don't have Logan, and we still don't know what we're gonna do with Clowney.
Yeah.
The 29th pick, I'm getting one of these DBs.
Okay.
One of these defensive backs. Hopefully, the kid from Jeff Gladley from TCU. He's a very good prospect that I've been paying attention to.
Yes.
You have Fulton from LSU. He's pretty dope. So, and I'm not saying these guys can fall to the 29th pick. It'll be nice.
Yep.
But if we got to switch them, my second pick will probably be and I know with the DNs, they're not very loaded in this draft. And you got the kid from Penn State. I think it's Matus or something, whatever his name is. I butchered his name. He's a pretty decent pass rusher. But if I was to do the first pick, I would do, hey, get the fastest receiver I can.
Yep.
Either Jack Rigger, or if I'm going to get a receiver, get a decent receiver who can kind of step in for that Tajae Sharpe role because you don't know what's going to happen to Corey Davis. And I would get a DB. Because right now we haven't signed Logan Ryan. And this is something else John Robinson does. John Robinson, if he doesn't sign a position, that's the position he's going to draft in the draft, okay?
No question. No question.
If you don't have a left tackle, you're going to draft a left tackle. If you don't have a DB, that's why he hasn't signed Logan Ryan yet, people. It's because there's talent in this draft with DBs. And if you don't get one in the first round, you got one in the second round. I think his name is Jalen Johnson from Utah. And the kid, he's got some talent too, man. You got the kid, and I think I said he's from UCLA. He's pretty dope. So there's some talent in this draft with the skill positions versus the defensive ends and the D tackles because I feel like this draft is a little bit weak with D tackles, especially when you got the first round.
Yep.
And you get to the 29th pick and you got to make a decision. You're like, I don't know. Do I really want to pull the trigger on a DN and he's not doing it or a D tackle? Because I see people having us mocked. Mock drafts are crazy, man, especially from analysts. We've been mocked a tackle, a right tackle, kid from not Georgia. I done lost my mind with that.
Yeah.
But you got they have us mock the tight end. I'm like, okay, we don't need a tight end. I've seen defensive tackles. I've seen the kid from Auburn, which is not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But the problem is, like you said, your right ends and your left ends and your D tackles, if you don't get them in the top 10 or the top 5, you'll be a good role guy.
Right.
But you're not going to be a game changer.
No, not at all.
Right now, I feel like if we're going to pull a trigger on a right end or a left end, we need a game changer. We need somebody to come in. We need a 15 sack. We need a Myles Garrett, a Von Miller. We need somebody to take that extra leap. We need a Javon Curse when Javon Curse blossom on the scene. So that's my two picks for now. I said, it can change with the signing of Tannehill. Logan Ryan or Clowney. But what about you?
Man, I hate to be a carbon copy because you and I have talked about this in great detail. One thing I've always said is I think one of the key positions in the NFL that people don't talk about is the tight end position. I really want to say tight end in the first round. I know we have Jonnu Smith, but I don't think there's enough talent at that position to pick a first rounder. So, man, hey, look, this draft's got receivers and DBs galore, okay? Just out of Alabama, Ohio State, and Clemson. You can have a whole team of DBs and receivers just from those three schools. Literally, it's unbelievable. Florida's got several. Auburn's got several. So the SEC's always gonna have a lot. But Mississippi State, right? But this year, there's so many defensive backs. It's unbelievable. I like, speaking of Clemson, I like AJ Terrell from Clemson. AJ Terrell, I like his height. He's about a 6'6" corner. You know what I mean? He plays. Right. Yes, he plays very good. I'll tell you, I watched some games Auburn had played this year. They had a guy number 4, Noah. I think I have his last name, Igabole or something like that.
Hey, the kid is dope.
He is. He's a tough corner. He's a tough corner. It reminds me of a Dory Jackson. You know, he's tough. Right. He's a little bigger, but he's tough. So guys like that might be available in the 29th pick. You might get those type of guys. So I personally, in the first round, no question, defensive back, no question about it. Now, second round, I'm going wide receiver, no question. I know we've invested in receivers over the past several years with Corey Davis in the first round, A.J. Brown in the second round, and that's okay. But Tajae Sharpe is gone. We need some receivers. We need speed. I
I
don't know in the second round if T. Higgins or even Justin Jefferson would be available. I would love
no
that to be the case. They won't be there. T. Higgins
right,
might be, especially if we trade
right,
up. Justin Jefferson won't
right.
be. But
No.
if we could get a receiver, man, that could come in and I would like for him to be a burner if possible. But man, if you got a combination of good height and good speed, run about a 4.4, and you 6'2", 6'3", can get that ball. That's what we
Right,
need. We need a guy to say, look, me and AJ Brown, we're gonna do our thing. Corey Davis can come along if you want to, but we're gonna do
right,
our thing. These young boys right here, we're gonna do our thing. So
right,
I'd say
right.
no question, defensive back and wide receiver. Folks, we're gonna get into the draft. You know what I mean? We
Oh
definitely
yes.
will hit up on the draft, man.
Oh
Definitely.
yes.
Yeah, man.
We gonna get in the draft heavy. And like you said, with receivers, people, Jalen Rigger, man, he wasn't high on people's draft boards, but until Tyreek Hill and Damian Williams from Kansas City popped on the scene, all of a sudden, imagine if you had a Jalen Rigger running with an AJ Brown and a Corey Davis and
Right.
a Humphries. Imagine that receiver, because all of a sudden you give Tannehill more weapons than he had last year. He had weapons last year, so all of a sudden he's like a kid in the candy shop. I mean, you just tell Jalen Rigger to go, he's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? That answers your speed question. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's
And
right.
even like you said with the DBs, man, it's so deep with DBs. Don't be surprised if we pick up 2 DBs. It wouldn't surprise me in the 7th round you pick up, like
Another
I said,
DB.
or the 4th round, the kid from UCLA. The kid from UCLA, man, he's a solid, good zone corner. And it's a lot of man corners in this draft.
Right.
Something that the league is going to is a type of man-style offense and a man-style defense. So you need those man corners to guard. That's what killed us in the AFC Championship, is because we didn't have no man corners. The only man corner you got is Adoree', and Adoree' can't do it by himself when you got 6 track guys playing receiver. It's
Right.
impossible.
That's right. That's
So,
right. That's right, man. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the show, man. Hey,
sure.
I had a ball, bro.
Hey, me
Through the
too.
quarantine and everything, man. I really hope everybody is all right. We still did the show. We're gonna continue to do the show, man. We're just kind of getting things together here. But
Right.
man, we appreciate again all the fans that have tuned in to our show. Especially if you watch the whole show, man, we appreciate your time.
Do.
Definitely, man. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, brother, I wish I was there, man. But
Yeah, I know.
hey, the quarantine, man, ain't no joke, man. So,
Yes, sir. That's right, man. That's right. So if you
definitely.
want to contact us, man, you can hit us on Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly. You can also hit us on Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7. As well, you can contact us at Tennessee Titans Weekly at gmail.com, folks.
And remember, like, share, subscribe. Tell your grandmama, your auntie, everybody, man. It's the quarantine. Y'all got some material. Look at the video 5
Yep.
times. It don't matter. But like he said, we're gonna have a draft show, and it's gonna be in detail and deep. So just get ready.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Well, to you and yours, it's your boy Hawk and your boy Jacques. We here and we out. It's
We
been
out.
nice, man. Hey, we'll see y'all here soon, folks.
All right now.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
All right.
All right. Yes, sir.